channel. I'm so glad you guys are here today. You're joining me on a very lovely, very bright, sunny, happy spring Saturday. It's supposed to get up to 77, I believe. Ready. I've been ready. This last week has been so cold and wet and rainy and drab, and I'm so glad it's gone for now, hopefully, and that it's gorgeous outside. The sun is shining. Like, I'm in such a good mood, honestly. If you guys have never been to my channel before, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. You guys decided to click on my channel and to come join me and hang out with me, and judging by the title, obviously ready to talk about books. But hit that subscribe button. We talk about a lot of eclectic topics on here. Really spiritual, happy, positive, good for the soul topics. And you have been here before, welcome back. Thanks for coming back, guys. I've got a fun one for you today. Thanks for supporting me and for coming and hanging out with me on this channel, because I love you guys. So I don't think I've done a reading TBR pile, and I think I've definitely done one like as a blog post, but I don't think I've done one like in actual visual video form. And honestly, I'm doing this video because I'm kind of hoping to inspire myself, because a little bit of backstory. I used to, for a brief few months, used to work at a library, and it was the local library that I was living with in kind of like a little town when I moved back here from Colorado to Missouri, and honestly was one of my favoriteest, most funnest jobs I had, because it was very low-key job. I obviously did my work, definitely allowed to read on the job, and it was definitely encouraged. And it was good because the manager wanted you to read on the job, so you can recommend books to patrons that came in. And I love this job so much, and this job really got me, I've always kind of been a reader, but I've not been a massive avid reader, and I was kind of in a reading rut. And then when I started working at the library, I read all the time. That's all I did. And I miss doing that. I miss reading, and I try to read the best I can, but honestly, and it might be the Aries nature in me, it's hard for me to sit down and read sometimes, because I just have to find a time where I'm okay, I'm not going to be busy, I need to sit down and just read unrelentlessly. So I'm kind of hoping that this video would kind of be an inspiration to myself to kind of get me back into reading, get me out of a reading rut. Guys, my list of spring/summer coming up of 2021. I hope you guys have a beverage. Obviously, I always have a beverage here, and I opted for tea today because I've already had coffee today. I'm just not feeling coffee. I'm doing English breakfast eating session here. Some good tea leaves that I got at a spice market on C Street. You guys have seen my birthday vlog, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, guys, grab you a coffee, tea, soda, wine if you're feeling like it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and let's get into it. First book that I'm gonna get into that I've kind of been excited to talk about, it's been what I've been reading recently. I wanted to get this book for the longest time. In my area, there's only one Barnes & Noble. It's kind of on a busy street. I kind of have social anxiety, so I don't like to go in busy areas, but I'll do it for Barnes & Noble kind of thing. So I went to this Barnes & Noble one time, and I spent literally almost 30 minutes, almost to an hour, trying to find this book in Barnes & Noble, and it was nowhere to be found. I went and asked cashier, hey, do you have this book? I've been looking for it for 20 minutes and I can't find it anywhere in this building. I put it on hold at the library, and I was like, well, people have probably have it on hold for a long time at the library because it's a new popular book that everybody's wanting to read. So I finally got it at the library, and then I went to Barnes & Noble last weekend for my birthday, and I found it, I bought it. It was kind of expensive, but it was worth it, and that's Midnight Sun. And I probably am being blasphemous by wearing Harry Potter symbols and doing Twilight, but okay, I'm gonna be real here, and I'm gonna tell you that I am a Potterhead all the way. Obviously. When it comes to Twilight, however, I didn't love the movies, okay? I'm not gonna shame or hate on the movies, because you know what, they're not that bad, but they're not that great either, shall I say. I came to Twilight through the books. Definitely read all 4 of the first books, Light, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. I read all 4 of them while I was in high school. Love the books. Before I got Midnight Sun, I was actually starting Twilight back up again. I wanted to get back into the series. So I actually kind of stopped reading this for a bit to read Midnight Sun. I mean, I'm not even making a dent, honestly, as you can tell. But like, it's so good so far. For those who've been living under a rock and you don't know about Midnight Sun, it's essentially the same events and takes place, it has the same events as the first Twilight book, but it's through Edward's perspective. I think I'm at the part where like he just saved her from like the van crushing her in the parking lot, and she's like asking questions like, what's going on with you, man? How did you just like swoop in here and save me and crush a van, and like nobody else saw you, you weren't standing next to me? And it's like that conflict of like Edward's trying to like take care of his family and protect his family, who are obviously vampires, but like he's in love with Bella. It's nice to hear his perspective. And I, you know what, say what you will about Twilight, I love it. I'm reading it, I like it so far, and I'll keep you guys updated on it. So if I want to continue on reading the first Twilight, I don't want to like bog myself down with Twilightness because there's other books I want to read, but I think I might either read this like later on in the summer, or I might read it right after Midnight Sun. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with Twilight first, but I'm definitely reading Midnight Sun, definitely loving it. Okay. This next one I recently put on my reading list only because like I love this book. Okay, I got this for my birthday last weekend from my parents, and literally this is like probably the most beautifulest books I've ever owned. Barnes & Noble has like special editions of classics thing here. Like I got Pride and Prejudice and Jane Eyre on here, and there's like very fancy covers and whatnot, and Barnes & Noble's like famous for that, and they do like classic renditions of those. Favorite book of all time, or well, my favorite classic of all time is definitely The Great Gatsby, and I was in Barnes & Noble one time, I saw this and I was like, I need to buy this. But it's this is the Great Gatsby special edition cover from Barnes & Noble, as you can see, and it has other stories in here. I believe The Beautiful and the Damned's in here. I absolutely love F. Scott Fitzgerald. I love The Great Gatsby. I love the glitz and the glams of the 20s. Like that's kind of like one of my favorite eras that I would wish to live in, kind of thing. I have an actual copy of The Great Gatsby, like a normal copy that has the title that you probably recognize, but I saw this and I was like, I have to get this. So it's kind of cool because I did have, before I got this book, I did have Great Gatsby on my reading list for the spring/summer, and like I'm definitely gonna read from this now because like even the pages are like gold. It's like beautiful. I'm in love with it. Oh, This Side of Paradise is in here too. This Side of Paradise is definitely another book I've wanted to read so bad from F. Scott Fitzgerald. I recently also got, I'll show you guys really quick also, if I can grab it. I also bought this not that long ago, but it is definitely a pretty version of The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, and I absolutely love The Bell Jar, and like this cover is so gorgeous. Like I love the colors and just like even the back has got like some roses and stuff. Like I'm digging that. And it's also not only The Bell Jar, but it's got some like poems of hers on here. Definitely probably some from Ariel if you guys are into poetry. Kind of like, okay, I am really bad, and I'm sure I'm not alone, of somebody who has tons of books on my bookshelf to read, but I still go to the library time and time again. I tried really, really, really hard not to do that this time. I tried to pick out books that are on my bookshelf that I really need to read, that I want to read, and yeah, so these are kind of spring, summer themed, so bear with me. This book up a while ago. I went to like a used bookstore, and I honestly, like, I just destroyed it. I like spilled coffee on it or something, but it's The Girls by Emma Cline. This is supposed to be based off like the Manson family, and which I'm not into that, and I'm like, I like true crime, but I'm not like super into true crime. So I was like, I don't know why I picked this book up, but I heard this book was so good. It came out a few years ago, and like I still have yet to read it, and it's been on my shelf probably for about 2 years now, and I've been dying to read it. So it's a girl who's like in the middle of adolescence, meets a bunch of other girls, and you know, it's like I said, it's based kind of like on the Manson family, and you know, I feel like there's some kind of mystery element to it, and I love mysteries, so good one there. Book that I've been meaning to read that I've heard so much about and I just never did it, I guess, was definitely Gillian Flynn's Gone Girl. I have not seen the movie. I've been wanting to watch the movie and I'm trying hard not to watch the movie because I want to read the book first, and I heard this book is so good. It's got a really good twist ending and all that kind of stuff. Like, I love mysteries, and I kind of like spring and summertime are the best time for mysteries, honestly. So I read this book a few years ago. This is by one of my favorite authors, is Sophie Kinsella. If you guys have never heard of her, she writes the Confessions of a Shopaholic series. I think they did make a movie with Isla Fisher, which is really adorable. You guys should definitely check that out. But I love her style of writing. She's British, and I love British culture. I don't know why, but she's British, and she always writes like cute romance, like chick lit stories, and I absolutely love these. And I've read this before, but it's such a cute book. It's just about a girl who, like, she's trying so hard to be like have a perfect life and have like Instagram worthy life, and like, you know, she has this great job in London, but like something goes wrong and she basically has to go back to her roots and back to her hometown and kind of like find herself in a way. And I dig those kinds of books all the time, so I definitely want to reread this book. This is a good, I mean, even the cover is just like perfect for March, especially with St. Patrick's Day. But I think it's such a good like spring book, and it's lighthearted, happy for the most part. You know, there might be some sad stuff in it, but I love light reading in the springtime. Okay, I definitely picked this book out because it was definitely summer aesthetic, and it's definitely gonna be for something in the summer. I found this book at Dollar General, and like, honestly, Dollar General has hidden books there that you could find that may or may not be good. I don't really know. I just picked it up. It's called Fireworks. It's by Katie Natguno. I can't pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. I don't even know what this book is about. I think I just picked it up because it looked good. It's like two friends that kind of go through a rough patch, and they're trying to like find their friendship kind of thing, just by glancing at the synopsis really quick. But yeah, I am really excited for this book because it's definitely summer aesthetic. Like, you can definitely tell. It's just, yeah, this is the story of two best friends on the verge of greatness. Like, you know what? Reading is so much fun because you can just get lost in a story and just, it's good fun. You know what I mean? So, okay, also another book for the summertime. I've read this book before and I love this book. This is a good mystery read. It's called Swimming Lessons. It's by Claire Fuller. Many moons ago, I did do a subscription book of the month box, and it's really great. But I'm gonna be honest, and like, no hate to get books that were kind of hit or miss. Like, some of them were good, some of them were not. I remember like the first book I got from the subscription service, it wasn't that great, and I was so mad. I was like, dude, I just wasted my time with this book, and I think I ended up getting rid of that book or like donating it because I was like not happy with it. But then I got this book after it, and I read it, and I was like, okay, this one's good. Like, we're on the right track now. So I don't do the subscription series anymore, only because like I have so many books behind me, obviously, and like the library is free, you know. But this book is so good. It's kind of like, you guys ever read Where'd You Go, Bernadette? It's kind of like that vibe, where it's like about a woman who disappears, and like you come to find out like her and her husband were having like marital issues, and like, did she really disappear? Is she dead? Like, what's going on? Very mysterious element, and like it just got me. I don't know why. Like, I'm not even married or in a relationship, so I'm like, it doesn't really like relate to me, but I just love the mystery aspect and just kind of seeing like the marriage story kind of unfold in this book. And it's so good. Like, and it's definitely obviously summer themed. I think it's set like on a beach site. If you guys live near water or beach read, or even if you go to the lake, this would be the perfect lake/beach read. Like, it's awesome. I also did want to kind of read some nonfiction. I probably talked about this before, but I just finished it. But quite recently, I was doing a Bible study called Fight Back with Joy by Margaret Feinberg. And she also has a companion book. Like, I had a workbook that I worked with while I was doing the Bible study. But she also had like a actual like companion book that you can read that kind of talks more about her story and her fight with breast cancer. I really like the author of the Bible study, so I really wanted to read more of her story and like get more into it. So I definitely didn't have the chance to read this while I was doing my Bible study, so I'm definitely going to try again and try to do it and read it again. And then, of course, last but not least, definitely a nonfiction book. I found this book at a there's a shop here in Springfield called Renaissance Books and Gifts, and it's kind of like what I call my spiritual sweet shop. Only because like this store has pretty much anything and everything. Like you can find like crystals, incense, sage, books, and it's like, it's not just like on one specific religion, it's on many different religions. Like it's so, there's so much, it's like literally a kid in a candy store with this kind of store. But I recently found it. I actually went with a friend one time and I found this book, and I definitely want to study and get more in depth with this book, only because like this is definitely what I was looking for. Disclaimer here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about religion, but I am what I call myself a yogini Christian, only because like I'm Christian and I'm very much by the Bible for my Christians out there, and I don't stray away from the Bible, and I don't practice anything that would be against God or against the Bible. So there's that. But I do like to use spiritual practices to like aid or go with religious practices. For an example, I like to, when I'm like, you know, praying, sometimes I like to use saging, or when I'm doing yoga, I like to like, you know, do Christian yoga. Honestly, like I love going to church, I love doing religious practices as well, but like honestly I feel more connected and stronger with God being spiritual instead. So like I definitely wanted to kind of like get more in depth with that, and I found this book, perfect book. It's called Jesus in the Lotus, and it's by Rusill Paul. And I believe I kind of read a little bit of this book, but I didn't really get into it, and again, in a reading rut, so I didn't really finish it, and I'm kind of still learning about it. But he is I'm just going to read it. He is a world-renowned musician as well as a teacher of Eastern spirituality. He trained simultaneously as a monk and a yogi under the direction of renowned sage and mystic B.B. Griffiths in South India for close to 5 years, and has taught in graduate and postgraduate spirituality programs for the past 17 years. So this guy, the author of this book, was a monk at one point and studied the ways of Christianity or perhaps Catholicism, and also trained to be a yogi, which, if you know the yoga community, a yogi is someone who like deeply practices like yoga, not just like yoga poses. Like a lot of people think that yoga is strictly just like doing poses all the time, but it's a lot more in depth with that and a lot more spiritual, shall I say. So, or just like the practices of yoga and spirituality as well as Christianity, and I love to merge the two together, and I just kind of wanted to like get more into this and kind of see someone else's perspective on it. And so definitely can't wait to get into this book. And honestly too, if you guys want to see a video of me talking more about my religion or more about how I practice spiritually and all that kind of stuff, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll definitely provide a video for that. But that was a lot. It's almost April, May, June, July, maybe August. All right, about 5 months to get through all these books, and I got a lot of reading to do, guys. So that is that today, guys. I hope you had fun today. You guys ever heard of these books? Have you read some of these? What is your spring/summer reading list for 2021? I would love to hear from you guys. Definitely leave me a comment, like this video, all that fun stuff. And thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I love doing these kinds of videos with you guys. So thanks for being here with me today, and I will see you guys on my next vlog or my next blog post. Bye, guys. See ya.